Yeah, this one's a tricky one. You know, at Christmas time, you buy those round things and you put Christmas trees on it and you wrap red ribbon around it. Yeah, they're called wreaths. That's the bull ring, okay? The bull, the toro, okay, charges into the red flag, okay, because it's the red spirit, okay, and man needs it. So, in consideration, can I say man is the bull? But in Canada, okay, the bull is a moose. Rocky and Bullwinkle says it right there. Look at our quarter. It's a deer. A deer, a doe, a buck, a female deer, a drop of golden sun, Switzerland. Okay? We were reminded of Switzerland now, of the Alps. The Alps remind me of Colorado. Colorado reminds me of Texas, reminds me of Montana, reminds me of Nueve Laredo, reminds me of Roswell, the Roswell Brownstone, Area 51, Central Station. Then it reminded me of the pool ball, the five pool ball. Okay? The only ball that has the same color of the five pool balls is the 13. So what does the 13 ball replicate? Okay? The five replicates the sun, which is what they call the bull ring, the Holy Ghost of Christmas, the wreaths you put on your door. Okay? It's because the Spirit passes through that ring, okay, and over to us. So it becomes the 13 ball. So I can play tricks with the 13 ball. And the trick goes like this. 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 plus 3 is 4. The total is 7. So they're both the same. One is the 5 spirit. The other is actually the 7 God, known as 13. And in the Hebrew religion, 13 is bar mitzvah. Anyways, 1 and 3 is 4. 4 is angel. 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay? It just means two worlds or the female world. Okay? But I'm not getting to that. Sorry about that. What I wanted to say is that now that we have the 5 and the 13, let's forget about it being 5 and 13. Let's say it's the 5, and because God makes everything perfect, the 1 is Mercury, the 3 is Earth, and the 5 is the Sun. Oh my God, something weird is happening. Don't you see? The 5 is supposed to be Jupiter, okay? But in this relation, I'm going to use the 5 as the sun. Okay, there's many ways to look at it, okay? In this situation, the 5 is the sun. Mercury is on the other side of the sun right now, and there's no planets between the sun and Earth. Therefore, the solar winds must be pulling. What, do you think they blow and they don't pull? Mercury's right behind him, and right behind that is Beta. If Beta's wind gets pulled right through her into Mercury, it's the sperm and the egg. And oh my God, number 2 is missing. It's on the other side. Oh, we've got help. Because don't forget, nothing gets transported if it has two spaces. That's why it's a space, a planet, a space, a planet, a space, a planet. Otherwise, we'd all be connected. You'd call us the shopping center. um, so yeah, so the planet, the Lenin, is moving in between that, intercepting whatever transmission that should have got pulled out of Venus into Mercury through the sun over towards Earth, but now the comet is in between. What's she gonna do? Is she gonna steal our information? Or is it just a big stone going around? Yeah, look, they saw NASA. Look, it's going around. This is the way it goes. Well, if they know the way it goes, let me tell you one thing. If that train comes in, you know where the tracks are. So this world is built and somebody knows something that they don't want to tell us. Another thing is, we really don't see a half a moon. When you see a half a moon, it looks like the moon is pregnant. Okay? When you see the quarter of a moon, it only says that there's 4 parts to a moon. If you see 1/4, there must be 4 parts. But you only see 1/4 of 1/4. And it's like a dice cube. If you make it into a dice cube, it would be 6. So that quarter would actually be 1 1/2. And 1.5 times 4 is 6, and it equals man and angel together, and it's the same payout in blackjack. So, anyways, yeah, that's the thing I wanted to tell you to get serious. That a Lenin is coming in, and she's packed with what kind of power? They mentioned any colors. What's the colors in a Lenin? If it's blue, that's mother coming to sweep house. If it's red, full of energy, oh my God, it's going to be very spiritual and very weird because everybody reacts differently. You know what I'm saying? When something new comes in, oh, I don't know why I feel like this today, or how come I feel like this today, and it must be in it, and it is. There's information constantly coming in all the time. I don't know how it works. I don't. I really don't. But it's always coming in. It's coming in. It's going out. It goes into the ground. You discover. You grow new seeds. I mean, when the farmer plants corn, maybe he plants one. Yeah, I'm gonna just take this. I'm gonna buy planters corn and plant it. They don't do that. They buy 6, 7, 8 different seeds, and they hope for the best on the average. That's the way it is for a farmer's life. The same thing in a laboratory. They have to do the same thing. Okay? Sometimes it is just what it is, and you got to take the in between. You got to put up with it, man. Imagine living 500 years next to somebody you don't like. Holy crap. If you don't like them after 500 years and you remember, you're doing good. um, yeah, another thing was I didn't finish doing this yet, but Monopoly, okay, you have to have a trajectory about how many times you're going to go around and why. So I figured in Monopoly we would go around the board 21 times. So if we go around the board in Monopoly 21 times 40 equals 840 rolls on the dice in Monopoly to end up on go and get 400 or into the fourth world. So 21 times 40 is 840, but isn't it a coincidence? Because it's also 70 years, which means the 7 of the world of God, 84. 8 and 4 is 12, 12 tribes. 8 is because God's world, okay, when he split apart in the oceans of the universe, okay, there was 4 corners to his upper world, 4 corners to his lower world. And in the between worlds, because he already had the 4 corners for both of them, he only needed 2 more corners. That's why man became 6 when the angel was 4. Because he didn't need those corners to exist because the angel was existing on the other 2 corners. The angel existed on the 2 and the 8. The man existed on the 4 and the 6. Neptune and Venus. Check the alignment of Neptune and Venus. Yeah, so that's what Monopoly is. So, and also, if you start off from one side of the sun, you count all the way up to Pluto, and then one step after Pluto, because we always want clearance, right? You want clearance on both sides. So what you do is you go nothing Sun, nothing Mercury, nothing Venus, nothing Earth, nothing Mars, nothing Jupiter, nothing Saturn, nothing Uranus, nothing Neptune, nothing Pluto, nothing. 21 steps. Okay, then you can build the size because it's basically once you get to the outer limits, they show you where the outer limits are. It's the inner limits that are off, you know, because I mean, look how far Jupiter is, and look how far really the sun is from the Earth. But it only counts in certain revelations because, according to the way I understand, um, we start somewhere between the sun and Mercury, and we end at Mars. So do we end at the on the free space side, or do we count Mars? Nothing Earth would be 3. Nothing Venus would be 4. Nothing. No, wait a second. Would be 4, and then 1, 2, and 3 places. Right. So there would be a space between Mars and Earth. There'd be a space between Earth and Venus, and a space between Venus and Mercury. And then it would be the 4 planets. That would make the 7. Don't forget, there's a space between everything or everything rubs out. Okay? Things, everybody knows when you build, there's certain ways that'll strengthen what you do, and there's certain things you may do to it that'll weaken it. So there's always the best way for what we're doing is this. So anyways, Yeah, so Lenin is coming in. This is so exciting for me because I know there's going to be something that happens because just for me to feel good because I feel it. I mean, already something bad happened. I went into my synagogue and somebody cut all the copper piping off. Took all the copper piping, but he cut the toilets also. Why would somebody come in and take the copper? Is there a Jewish somebody, anybody Jewish out there? Look, look, I have my tallis. I want the answer. Why would somebody take the copper? What does it mean, the copper? Do you know what the copper means when they steal copper? Copper is the 1 penny. The 1 penny equals to the spirit. They took the spirit out of our shul by cutting off our gas. We're in a shul that's about almost 100 years old in a synagogue far out in the north of Quebec called Saint Sophie. And they cut our toilets, and I was plugging up the water with a friend of mine named Howard, and actually he takes care of the place. I was just there helping him out a little bit, and they tried to push in a window, and it just didn't make any sense because it seemed like they went down, they found some stuff, but they didn't break anything. They were just so somebody's after the spirit in my shul. So that's like, I mean, if you knew how I was thinking before this, that to me is like gold. As to something that happened. I mean, something else happened during the summer, but it was stupidity, and I'm not sure if God's playing tricks on me or what's going on. But while we're talking and we're into this book, I change who I am. I can be just with Bugs Bunny and old Sammy Sam. So we ran so far so fast with that red high net mustache curled over. He was the spirit of that show, wasn't he? He was funny. Um, yeah, there's so many ways to look at the Monopoly board too. We got into the 11th minute. Thank you for putting up with this. One of the things I did want to convey is that a Lenin is passing between Earth and very shortly, within a couple of more days. Something will probably happen within the next 6 weeks. There is that satellite that's falling out of space right now. Something doesn't make sense. Like the only thing that seems to stay in space is what they show you is tied up to the North or South Pole or something. But it seems like everything else keeps falling down. London Bridge is falling down. I don't know. Incy Wincy Spider went up the water spout. He had 8 legs. He can go up any spout he wants. Go anywhere he wants in 2 worlds with 8 legs. So we only got 2 legs. So we only got two spots. We can put either a foot in God's world and a foot in our world, or a foot in the beta world and shove everything up everybody else's. You know what? But you know what? I do like the Chinese. I don't use my feet. I just sit down. Put my ass in all of the legs. My head's up. My ass is down. My feet are down. I couldn't be any closer to both worlds. I don't know if you ever noticed, but the last Christ, I made a design trying to explain something. It's right here. You see this? You see, because heaven is upside down. So while Jesus was on one end, he was actually connecting back to his other body on the other end. Yeah, he felt it. He had no choice. It was God. You see the reflection down there? Another thing, if you carry the cross, okay, over your shoulder, like this cross over here, you carry it over your shoulder, and if you notice, it makes an X. You see that, this guy over here? Doot, 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 doot. What I'm trying to show you is that there's a passage here that connects this side, because the cross is carried this way. Look the way it goes right into the ground, but forget about what's in the ground. You see the way it's carried, okay? Just follow the X of where the X, I don't even know if I have the X the right way. Boy, is this the right way? I think this is the right way. So, oh my God. So he's out in the 2 position. Isn't this the railroad crossing? Don't you see the railroad crossing here? It's exactly like a railroad crossing. And there's the guy in the center looking up. And all that is a connection, is the stick in the ground. See the stick in the ground holding it up? That's him behind it holding it. It's all real, man. Like Easter, think of it this way. Easter, 2.5 men, 2.5 months, middle of March. Easter, woman has 2 eggs, the other half is for the angel. Easter, birth, Mary, M, letter M, 1, 3, creation, Mercury and Earth, 1 and 3, spirit and man. Have a good night. Take care. I hope it went well.